Impact. Now, there's a short thing I want to try and say and keep it under 2 minutes. I've seen the change they're about to make going from 8 to 10 Eastern time. Now, I had to think about this because I know that the scheduling of Impact on Pop doesn't always conform with most of the country, United States and Canada, because if I'm correct, in Pacific and Central time, they'll usually see it like at 7, or in some cases like on the West Coast, like at 5 or 6 in the afternoon, where most people are just coming out of work. And I think that's about the same in Canada, where it could be about 4 o'clock or 5. I could be wrong about the time. You guys can tell me below if I'm correct, that easily they're going from 8 o'clock to 10 will give more of an opportunity for people to see it when they get home. So that's what I'm thinking. But I am kind of wary about it because normally, and I'm not saying this is a bad move, but normally when a broadcast company changes a show from one time slot to another, if it's a good show, they try to keep it prime time. That's where it is. It's usually between 8 to about 9 o'clock. Well, 7, 8, and 9. I think 7 is still prime time. And 9 o'clock is prime time as well, from 7 to 9. Once you go into 10 and beyond, it can become a little bit of a danger, like they're not really interested in the product. Usually when they go to 11 and 12, that's dead time. Not many people watch it. So I'm hoping this will be good for them. Because like I said, most of the United States and Canada now have an opportunity to see it when they get home. Because a lot of cases, they're working or people are going to school or college or whatever. So this might be a good thing. I'm hoping. Now, this is 5 days after Bound for Glory. Did we get a good show? Yeah, we did. I'm not saying this is a great show. There were a couple of things that didn't seem to be very good. And I do agree with the Lexman. He did a review of Bound for Glory. And I did see this, but I didn't think it was something to really think about due to the fact of the venue they're in. One thing that many people don't understand, when you're in a new venue or a new arena, either one or two things. One, you have your own crew do the filming, or two, you have a crew that's already there and they do the filming. I believe when they were in Mexico, it was not Impact Wrestling that was doing the filming. I think it might have been the people who was filming from the venue there. But in this venue in Queens, which I didn't go, I have a problem with crowds. It still kind of messes with me. And with my injury, that makes it worse. I get nervous that if anything happens, someone bumps me, I could easily get hurt. That's one of my phobias. I'm sorry. But I did watch it, as you know. I did love it. But I did notice, like the Lexman did, that the camera work was not very good. Now, this is due to the fact of the venue they're in. If they were in a venue they're really familiar with, that they know they got a lot of room, and the guys who do the filming with the cameras do a very good work, they do it. In this case, they didn't look like they had much space. And it just didn't look very good. Doesn't mean the show is bad because of the camera work, but it's noticeable that when they go to these smaller venues in some cases, it just doesn't always work for the camera. There's just no way around it. And if it's not their crew, it makes it worse. My guess is that's their crew, and pretty much the venue is pretty tight. It was hard for them to move around, especially with the wrestlers there. So I give them a pass to this point. But the next venue they go to, if they still have the same camera work where they're not even in normal position for the shot, then I'm going to say, okay, Impact, what are you doing? You need to stop that. You're supposed to do the job right. Now, first thing I'm going to talk about are the promo segments in the interviews. We got a lot of interviews, which was pretty good. We got an interview outside with Moose and Killer Kross, which Killer Kross sounded very good. Moose is now wearing Shaolin clothes with glasses. I know Moose wears glasses. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses myself. I'm too stubborn to wear them all the time. But the Shaolin uniform, why? I liked him when he was Money Moose. I know that Austin Aries has now left. And I do have a video done for Austin Aries and what happened at Bound for Glory. I just forgot to upload it. I'm sorry. I'll see if I can upload it after this. But when it comes down to it, Moose wearing these clothes, I just don't feel it from him. He looked better as Money Moose. or Moose Money, whatever you want to call him. He looked better as a pimp, or as someone who's styling, who's profiling. Doing this, trying to be humble and all this crap, just doesn't really fit him. Now, let's go to the Tommy Dreamer versus Killer Kross. It was slow at first. I'm not gonna lie. It was a slow match at first. It picked up during the mid to near end. And in the end, there were some good spots. But Killer Kross did finally beat Tommy Dreamer. And in the end, Tommy Dreamer got his ass handed to him. They pounded him after the fighting was over. But the question's going to be, what are they exactly doing here when it comes to Kross, Moose, Tommy, and soon Eddie will be coming back? I don't know. This feels like it's a float type of deal. Honestly, they feel like they're floating. And I'd rather have them do something substantial, important. In fact, I want them in the tag team division. And that leads me to the next video package of LAX partying their asses off because they won. Now, as I said in Bound for Glory, I'm wondering, is the OGs done with them? Because it would have been better if the OGs actually had won. Because that leads them to a chance to get the titles and let them win legitimately. And that would give LAX a reason to be even more aggressive, to give them more work, more content to use. But in this case, the OGs come in, King comes in, and pretty much says, the bosses told me to come here and tell you that due to the fact of what happened, we're splitting up New York. Half is yours and half is ours. And pretty much when it came to Conan, he says, okay, you told me this, you better get to stepping because this ain't your territory. Get to stepping, boy. Now, I understand, naturally, that can actually happen. But at least what I understand. But here's the problem. What now? Because the OGs got their butts kicked twice. Twice they got beat. Not once, but twice. And the problem I see is that now that even if they're still around and they fight, it won't mean anything. If the OGs had beaten LAX clean in that concrete death match, I can't remember the name of it, street death match, if they had beaten them, it would have given them a reason to go after the titles one more time. And to be honest, I would rather see the OGs get those titles. So we'll have something new. Because what I just said about Killer Kross and what I just said about Tommy and Eddie, you could throw them into the tag division. They're not going to be doing anything substantial with Killer Kross and Moose, and not going to do anything substantial with Eddie and Tommy Dreamer. Why not let them go into the tag title scene? I think that would really be helpful. Because we miss tag title scenes. WWE has none. I'm sorry. Even though the Bars got the titles, nothing. You got the OGs and LAX. Yes, they're a hot tag team. But that's it. And I want to see more. Let the OGs go up against Killer Kross and Moose. Let LAX go up against, I know that's, you can flip them. Go up against Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Edwards. Let like the hardcorers, the hardcore maniacs, or the killer mooses, whatever you want to call them, go up against each other. Give us tag teams. People still love it. Why not give it to us? Now, it could happen, but you never know. Now, you got Trevor Lee going up against Ethan Paige. And it wasn't bad, the video package that I saw from both him and Matt Sydal. But I want to know where's it going. I don't know where it's going. They're not going to be a tag team, I don't think. And it looks like Matt Sydal is going to be Ethan Page's, going to be his manager maybe. Which is understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have a great wrestler be a manager sometimes. It can actually help someone else. So I'm cool with that. And the match itself was good. But then it kind of felt empty. To be honest, that's what I'm not saying they performed bad. Ethan Page is a good wrestler. You know that Trevor Lee's a very good wrestler. And they work very well together. But it felt empty because there was nothing behind it. Unless Trevor Lee is going to go and join Matt Sydal and the Egos. That would make sense. But if he doesn't join them, this just felt like a dark match. Like it was just a 4-way match. That's just how I feel. Now, the induction ceremony, without the drama of what happened with Austin and Johnny Impact. I can't stand saying Johnny Impact. But seeing that, I did see it. And it was so wonderful to hear how Chris Park really was appreciative what he got. He seemed like a very humble guy. What I heard the rumors about him being literally such an extremely friendly and caring person seemed to be true. There was not a bad word said about him. And that's really a nice thing to see. And in honesty, I'm being honest here. Because he has been in the company, well, he's been in the company and has been in the business for at least nearly 20 years now. Nearly 20 years. I say this only as a payout. Not as something great for him, but as a payout. I want to see him go 1 year to WWE. I want to see him get into the main roster like AJ Styles did. Have a contract for a year. Make some good freaking money and then leave. You can do that. A lot of people say you can make some great money on the indies. Yes, you can if they're willing to pay that much and if you've been moving around a lot. And the Abyss has been in the place that he's been in all this time. He's not wrestled anywhere else. So I'm thinking about a very short-term gain. I want to see Abyss get some money from the WWE. If this was able to happen. Abyss comes in at Royal Rumble. He makes a payout there. Then let him stay up to WrestleMania. Not saying he will wrestle The Undertaker. Undertaker's a mess, man. But I'm just saying he goes all the way up to WrestleMania. Gets a payout having a match there. Gets a WrestleMania moment, even if it's in a really average match. Gets a great payout of maybe about $1 million or $500,000. Contract's done. He's gone. I want to see him get some good, quick money. Get exposed to the WWE, get a quick payout, and then just go. That's what I want for Chris Park. Not to have a long stint like everybody else. I have a short stint to get some of this, some of this. That's what I want. Now, you have the video package of, I don't know what to think about Eli Drake. Particularly what happened with Abyss. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with him, and he is the man. I'm sorry, he's one of the best talkers in that company, and I'm glad he decided to re-sign with Impact. And I just hope they do something with him. That's what I'm wanting. I wouldn't mind him going into the main title scene after what happens with Phoenix, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I really want to see Eli Drake back in the main title scene because the guy's got it. And what he said simply, this is not a safe workplace because of what happened with him going through the table because of Abyss. What happened with LAX and the OGs is not a safe workplace. I am suing Impact Wrestling. This is where I don't know what's going to happen. I would rather see him in the main title picture, really busting his ass. Not trying to do it this way. But he is a heel and they're trying something different. I will give them the chance. Now, let's see here what's next. Brian Cage versus Rich Swan. We did have a nice interview with him as well with Willie Mack. Willie can talk. He seems a very type of... Everybody knows how Willie Mack talks. At least to me for this first time. He seems a very soft-spoken person that got charisma. That's how he sounds. And that kind of makes it hard to just kind of gauge him. Because people who got great charisma, but who are kind of soft-spoken, kind of makes it hard to really gauge if they're a great talker or not. So he could probably be a great talker, but he seems to be gentle. Kind of like with Jake the Snake Roberts. He never raised his voice. He was always the same type of tone, but you could feel the aggression or focus or rage from him by his eyes, by his mannerisms. He never spoke very loud. So that's kind of the person I see with Willie Mack. How was this match? It was, to me, the best match of the night. Of course, there was very few matches on this card. I mean, there were very few matches, almost at all. There was more content than wrestling, which is cool sometimes. You got to have more content than wrestling sometimes, and then you got to have more wrestling than content. You can flip them. In this case, it was a good wrestling match by the middle to the end. And Rich Swan, the WWE don't know what they lost. They just don't know. Because the guy has amazing talent. There were almost no botches. There were a few botches. But in the end, the match was so good. I did enjoy it very much. And I would suggest you see it. If you don't see anything else in this show, you could see that. And you would really like it. At the end, Brian Cage did win. He did win. He didn't use his drill claw. He had to use the Weapon X because he could not beat Rich Swan. He was beginning to get kind of, okay. He's got talent, okay. Oh, he's been beating me? Okay, now I got a challenge here. Now I'm going to have to start pulling out a little bit more of my repertoire. I can't pronounce repertoire. There you go, repertoire. He pretty much had to pull out Weapon X at the end. He does win. Sammy comes to the ring after he wins. Puts on the Titantron that win he got. And pretty much he's trying to say, give me my shot. Then he tries to attack him. Honestly, you know what they could have did? He could have just pointed at the Titantron, gets the mic and said, give me my match. Or are you scared? And then Brian says, all right, I'll give it to you. Fine. Throws the mic down and walks away. That might have been more effective than the actual beatdown. Then when it came to, Jake Chris? I don't think it was David. I think it was Jake, who basically got his ass nailed. And they had to drag him out. I think that could have been a little more effective. But it's just me. You guys could have liked the ending. Me, I think it could have been more effective if Sammy did not just go in and trying to attack him. He could have just came in, grabbed the mic after pointing to the Titantron and says, I beat you. Give me my match for that title. And then Brian says, you got it. And he says, next week. Throws the mic down, walks out. He can even give him the finger like this. That would have even been better. Now, let's see. Am I forgetting anything? I talked about Killer Cross. I don't know what they're going to do with Petey Williams. The man is hungry for who wouldn't be hungry for Scarlett Bordeaux? But now that Scarlett Bordeaux has now opened up her search for the next person that she believes can make great, not only for wrestlers, but now for spectators, for fans, then you see Petey Williams being told, why don't you leave me a video package on the website and I'll look at it. And I'm going like, what are you doing with Petey? I mean, I kind of feel bad for Petey that he could be doing something more. And I'm not talking about the X Division. I think Petey could be doing something a lot more substantial. I just feel that Petey, with all his experience and all the years that he's been working at Impact, that he could be beyond just an X Division guy. AJ Styles went beyond and Samoa Joe. How come he can't? It just makes me wonder what are they going to do with him? And if I'm getting anything, I'm sorry because... Oh, wait. Phoenix is going to have a match next week with Johnny. Now, the video... Well, there was no video package. It was just a straight-up talk that wasn't bad. They didn't really state Austin Aries' name, but the way that Johnny was, he didn't like it. He just didn't. But I will say that... What can I say? I can say this, that when it comes to Johnny, he, with that segment before Phoenix came out, he showed professionalism, but he kind of said a little bit more than what he should be. Nothing bad, just the guy pissed me off. I'm going to say something that needs to be said about him. That's what I think he did. Now, Phoenix is going to have a match next week with him. I'm okay with that. And we'll see how far that the show is going to go next week. Now, finally, the dark side of Allie. You guys know how I feel about Allie. I felt for the last 4 to 5, near 6 months, Allie has not been performing very well. Her work in the ring has been, to the point, dangerous. Because she's been botchy against Kira. No, sorry. She didn't face Kira. She's been botchy against Tyra Valkyrie, Su Yung. When it came to Tessa Blanchard a couple of times, I really believe that she has been botchy. Much more botchy than she should be. And I have not had an interest in seeing her in the ring. Now, did that video package they did at Bound for Glory make me interested? Yes, it did. I was very interested in it. And this match made that interest even more apparent. Because the video, well, the backstage video, basically, Kira goes up to her, says, "Are you alright? I haven't heard from you." She says, "I'm fine." With now, instead of blonde hair, her normal dark hair. She's now dropped the dye and now allowed her normal hair color to come through. Which I think is a lot better for her. Not because she looks more beautiful, but if she's going for this persona of becoming evil or dark, she needs to drop the good girl. Then, gets into the ring with black ring attire. Not pink black or just plain pink. Black ring attire. Still showing the cleavage, which, who doesn't love cleavage? Men and women alike love cleavage. And she gets into the ring with Alyssa, who is not a very good wrestler. I'm not against Alyssa. I think she needs more work. And I think they use her in this capacity for plot device. That's what I think Alyssa's being used right now. She's an enhancement jobber. Which is understandable and it's okay. If she ever gets better, give her something to do. But as it stands, she got in a lot of offense, which some of it was botchy. And I still think that Allie's still showing some botchiness. But did she play her part right, losing and flipping the script? Yeah. She kind of made me think of Laura Van Ness when she lost her mind. And that's not exactly good. And I mean, in the respect, not good about copying Laura Van Ness, but she has something she needs to work on. This is something she needs to work on. She needs to go from being a little crazy to being evil. And Laura Van Ness was never evil. She was just crazy. So this is where I think she's going to need to work on it and try to find her spot where she needs to be. Once she won the match is when she started choking out Alyssa. That's when it looked like it made sense. But before that, when she started losing it, it's not like Abyss when he switched from being Joseph Park to Abyss when he started seeing blood. She needs to work on it. So in the end, she tries to choke out Alyssa. Kira Hogan saves her, Alyssa, by shaking Allie, trying to get her to stop, and then she stops. And in the end, Allie's shocked that she acted that way, trying to make up to Alyssa, and Alyssa's scared, and Allie's even horrified she did it. I'll say this. They are trying to point a match that I believe will eventually happen where Allie will go up against Rosemary. This is where I believe it's ending up maybe in the beginning of January. That Allie will face Rosemary at Asylum. I think it's Asylum. I think on my son's birthday, that's January 7th. I think that's where they're pointing for. They want to build up Allie going crazy and then going evil. And then it's Rosemary who has to save her. As Allie tried to save Rosemary, now Rosemary's going to have to save Allie. I think that's what they're trying to do. And they got a couple of months to do it in, which is good. I just think that Allie needs to work on how she turns crazy. When she flips that switch, she needs to go from being crazy to being evil. If she doesn't know how to do evil right, and she just does crazy, it's just not going to look right. But this is just my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good night. Peace!